Happy to be here in Portugal today. Hello, John. Great to meet you in person.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time to be here and that we can catch up. And I always wanted to, ask you a couple of questions of things that I always wondered about. And I think I would like to take the opportunity today to do that.
Yeah, really go for it, man. Yeah.
Okay. So you're obviously in the community already for quite a while. How long?
3 years, June 2020.
June
It was
2020.
the first 2 or 3 months of lockdown, and that's when I found this education.
Okay. Wow. And if you look back compared to how your life looked before and how it looks now, what's the sort of difference? What has changed?
Oh, only everything.
Only everything?
Yes. Yeah, I even live in a different country now. Because I can. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was doing solitary work in a dusty woodworking workshop out the back of the house, which, when I look back on it, had me tied to that house. I was living in it's a big house. I'm not bragging. It was a big house in the Italian countryside. It wasn't worth a huge amount of money, but I was one guy rattling around in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. Because I was tied to where I was living, because that's where the workshop was and that's where I earned my money. And I was beginning to fall out of love with my work. And the dust has certainly affected my lungs and the respiratory system. And it was underpaid. And I had a realisation as well that when the state pension, when I qualified for the state pension, there won't actually be enough money to stop working. And so I was looking at a retirement within which I was going to be either old and broke if I chose not to work or I couldn't work any longer, or I was just going to keep on working. And it was making my life, miserable might be too big a word, but it was certainly suboptimal, let's say. So yeah, I wasn't having a lot of fun before I discovered internet marketing, if you like. And if you want to know how life has changed since, so first of all, obviously there's work to do. There's work to do up front. We're not in one of these jobs where I'm having to show up to earn a living anymore. We're in a business where we can set systems in place online that automate the sales process. And as a consequence of the sales process being automated, our income is automated. So once everything's up and running, and that may take a little while, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, at that point we kind of free up our life. All right. So that took me a year or so to get to that point, to come to trust the income that was coming in from the business. There was some learning and optimisation once the business was up and running. There's obviously learning to do beforehand to get the business prepared and the systems in place. But I came to the point where I could trust the income, and in that moment I thought, I'm free. I don't have to go to the workshop anymore, and I don't even need to be rattling around in this big house, immersed in the Italian countryside, which was very beautiful but also very solitary. And so I started to have thoughts that I didn't have to be there anymore. I could sell the home, because now I can earn from just a laptop computer and I can be anywhere I want to be. And before lockdown happened, I was in Malaysia and I took an opportunity to nip over to Bali, and I thought, wow, I could go back to Bali and I could work on my laptop and
earn money, right?
And life can be whatever I want it to be. As it happens, I didn't go to Bali. I've already got friends in Spain, which is far sunnier than the mountains in Italy where I was based. And winters are a lot milder because it's by the Mediterranean. And I was actually swimming in the Mediterranean on Christmas Day and New Year's Day just last year.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So yeah, life has become unrecognisable. But also there's another consequence of having all this free time, and I didn't know how to spend my time. I didn't even know what I liked or wanted to do. It was a problem. I've had to be really intentional about exploring different ideas and possibilities, and I bought a bike, and so I now cycle, I go to the gym, I want to change the shape of my body, I can swim. in the Mediterranean, you know, on a regular basis, and I've joined a hiking group, and you know, I'm creating a whole new life, and it's a far more stimulating and healthy life. Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I love it. I have to pinch myself when people ask me these kind of questions. I think it makes me feel a little bit emotional because I just feel blessed. Yeah,
that was amazing. And if you look back, like what Launch You has done to you and helped you to get to this stage, what was, from your perspective, the top 3 things that helped you most to get to the space where you are at the moment?
Yeah. Well, the top 3 things. I think without a doubt the coaching. I decided to at the outset. I wanted to give myself the very best chance of making this succeed. You know, there was no other. The option was old and broke, right? So I fully committed to this, and I invested in my education, and I took on one-to-one coaching. And I think I had help in terms of the technical setup that was virtually done for me.
Okay.
And probably more importantly, I worked with Genevieve, and she helped me get real clarity around what my business was going to look like. Who am I serving? What's the value that I've got to put out into the world? What's my message? You know, what am I stand for? And I think without that clarity that I have, which runs through the branding, the communication, everything that I do, I think I would be scattered and incoherent and possibly not have enjoyed the same level of success and autonomy and independence. So the coaching, without a doubt. I love the community. The community is broken up into different groups. There are groups on Facebook. There's the Mentors group, and I joined one of the groups called the 90-Day Video Journey. And that again, you know, this environment. There's a safe space there where we can play around and practice making video, which was fabulous in and of itself. But it was connecting with the other people in the community. So I collaborate now. I have a number of accountability partners, study buddies, you know, people that I can kind of just call on if I need to, they can call on me. And I think, you know, getting plugged in to the community and making these kinds of connections, obviously, for me, is hugely important. I came in a lone wolf. I thought I could do it all on my own. But I'm not sure that anybody can do it all on their own. I think you've got to get connected and get help.
Get peers, put your heads together also, which is what we can do also here.
Yeah. So far it's been people and people, hasn't it? It's been coaches and it's been people in the community. And then obviously there are experts on the live calls. And in those moments where you're on your journey and maybe you're stuck or you can't see the way forward, then you have the opportunity to plug into all this specialist knowledge. I think the third thing, I'll retract that one because it's all about people. But I think the nature of the step-by-step training. Yeah. Stuart calls it experiential learning. So we're not just learning a thing intellectually. We're being put to work. There are steps. There are action steps, aren't there, that we can put into a checklist. And it's that idea that there's a structure that as long as we do the work, we will get to the point where we'll have a business and we can launch it. I just think that's priceless.
Oh. Yeah, amazing. And when I think about, you working in a workshop, like doing manual labor, being as you said, a lonely wolf, did it come out natural for you to just talk into the camera and doing videos, or how was that?
No, I resisted it. I didn't want to do it. Absolutely. So I saw an advert on YouTube. Right, Patrick Chatelain was the guy that brought me in, and he encouraged me. and he kind of made me, I don't know, did he take me under his wing? He helped me. He wanted to see me win, as we want to see our members win. And he suggested video, okay, and I resisted. But that was the reason why I'd signed up for the 90-day video journey, because I had invested quite heavily in myself. There's more to it than just having access to coaches. The financial commitment, the sunk cost, meant that my first target now is to get that money back. Okay,
sure.
So I was fully committed, and I made myself a promise that I will do whatever it takes to make this work. I'm not going to shrink from any challenge. And even though there may be times where there is an inner critic and there's fear and, you know, what on earth would my friends and family think if they saw me now? Oh, I feel ridiculous. There's all that going on in our heads, or in my head. I don't think I'm unique in this regard. But the reality was that once I got over myself and I started making videos, it's a journey like any other. It's no different from learning how to drive a car. You know, you start off consciously incompetent, right? But you go through the process and you become unconsciously competent in the end. You go through various phases in between. But I don't know how many videos in I was, but all of a sudden I was loving it. And I was making these little mini featurettes, and I was doing a bit of editing and having real fun with it, and it became my new creative process. And what's the big deal? You're talking to a piece of glass, you know?
Yeah.
Once you've actually done it a few times, all the fear goes away, and now all of a sudden, you know, you can start to play with it, have fun with it, experiment, and what a powerful way of communicating, you know, with people out there in the world.
Wow. Thank you so much, John, for sharing openly, you know, your challenges also and your journey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot.
Yeah, well, likewise, Steffen. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.